Hi Aquarius, this is your monthly reading for the month of April for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and this is not going to resonate for every single Aquarius out there. All right, you guys, see what's happening for my Aquariuses for the month of April. We have stop, drop, and ground, and we have imbalance. So I feel like for this month, a lot of you guys are definitely going to have to stop for a minute, really reevaluate where you're going, and also to be more in the present moment. You need to become more aware of your body and what's happening in your body, because I feel like some of you guys might even have a body imbalance where you might feel sick or queasy, or you might have just like shoulder pain or certain pains in your body. You need to stop and listen to that, because I feel like for some of you guys, you've been way too in your head and not so much grounded in the body. We have that King of Pentacles, and as I was saying that, I kind of felt that way, like as if maybe you're in your mind more, needing to be more grounded. We have the Tower, the Two of Wands, and then the Five of Swords. We also have the Strength card, Ace of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Four of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. At the bottom, we have the Knight of Cups. All right, so my Aquariuses. There is something about the past that still is messing with your foundation to this day. So I feel like for some of you, whatever this could have been for you, I mean, it's going to be different for every Aquarius, but I feel like this has rocked or shaped the way that you view your life and your own foundation and stability. So this feels like something that has impacted you deep in a personal level, whatever this was in your past. I feel like a lot of my Aquariuses right now are kind of in between maybe a state of being or trying to figure out what you're going to be going or doing. But for a lot of you guys, you could be surrounded by people and places and things that seem to give a lot of conflict. I'm getting with this Five of Swords, a lot of roadblocks. So it's like your communication could be blocked. The way that you talk to people or the way that you're interacting with people around, there could just be this tension there and you're not sure why or what's happening. It's like you're sensing it in the air, perhaps even for some of you. It's just weird. It's like you feel deep inside yourself that something seems off. Some of you guys feel like you can't muster up the courage to go after something that you want, but there's something here that it's like whatever this conflict is that's around you guys, it feels like it's been affecting and bleeding into other areas of your life. So it's really weird. I don't know what this is, but with that Five of Swords, I just keep getting a lot of blocks, which makes you guys feel like not like a victim, but kind of having that victim mentality where you feel like you can't really be one way or another. Like you feel like you can't just be who you want to be. So there's something here where you feel like you're lacking some sense of self. And it has a lot to do with that past, because I feel like your past has taken a toll on your self-esteem. But some of you right now are focusing on the foundation of your life. So for a lot of you, what I'm getting is you want to save money. You're trying to save up, and I feel like you're making decisions, but you're trying to, like for some of you, what I'm getting as well is you're cutting back on your expenses. You're not spending as much as you are. You're making the decision, where do you want to go, what do you don't want to go. So some of you guys, you feel like you don't know what you want to do. Maybe perhaps you're afraid of trying to make a final decision about something. But what's happening is you're just going to be focusing on saving money because that's something that makes you feel more secure. But at the same time, it's like does this make sense? Where it's like you're saving up money, but you don't know what you're saving money up for. You just want that stability. Because some of you might not know what you want, but you just know that you want to be more stable for the future. I feel like some of you guys have a tendency of rushing certain things, though, certain events. Maybe you bulldoze over certain thoughts. So when something pops in your mind and there's like an emotional trigger, maybe you have a tendency of just rushing through it or glossing over it. So I feel like some of you guys are not getting to certain root causes of certain issues, thinking that that's what's going to pull you out of this energy of feeling alone and abandoned, or just feeling like you have to do everything alone. Because I feel like Leo, with that strength card, with that Leo card, right? I feel like a lot of you guys feel as though you are going at it alone, that you don't have the support that you want or need. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's what's leaving you guys kind of emotionally, it's like you are emotionally unattached to certain people and places and things. You tell yourself that you're fine, that you don't need a particular person in your life, or you don't need a particular support network, but you do. Because for some of you guys, even though when you're moving forward and you're feeling your emotions, you're examining, there's still something that you're not seeing here. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the way that you work with others. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you're not seeing how when you come towards somebody, you come towards them fast. You can come towards people in a way that not necessarily intimidates people, but makes people think that you might not be as serious as you are, if that makes sense. You can kind of come off like a dreamer, but somebody that doesn't know maybe how to get that done. Like you have all these ideas, but you don't utilize it, you don't create it, you don't put it, like actually take the steps to make it. So I feel like that's kind of some of that lack there, is because you have this sense of, I don't really have this drive or this, it's like being afraid of looking stupid for a lot of you, or being afraid of looking like a failure if you go after what it is that you really want and then failing. So let's get some clarifiers. So I just feel like a lot of you guys right now, you're just trying to focus more on the practicality of life. Like how can you get your money up, or how can you do, because I'm getting savings really heavily here for some of my Aquariuses, wanting to put money aside. A lot of cards keep wanting to pop out. See, I feel like you guys feel blocked, like you can't really go anywhere. You almost feel like there's no point in defending yourself on certain things. There's a lot of pain here that still hinders you, because it's this decision making of where you're going to go, and it has something to do with this past that you're tied to. It's an emotional attachment, and it's because you suffered great loss, not only in feeling... You felt this sense of disappointment, but also actual loss in some form or another. And it didn't work out in your favor. And ever since then, you've been so afraid to make certain judgment calls or certain decisions here, Aquarius. Like you just don't trust yourself. You falter a lot. But you're always in your head a lot too. And you always seem to... There's always that pausing period where you think things through a lot, but you don't take action. You don't say anything maybe to people. But it's because there's this piece of you that feels like it's not going to work out for you anyway. For some of you, this really burnt you out. Whatever this was in the past, it really affected your self-esteem. It affected your foundation of who you are as a person. And you made a decision maybe in that past, and that's what you're afraid of now, is remaking that decision, because there's something, again, about your past that keeps nagging at you or pulling you back in some way. Because I feel like for a lot of the time here, Aquarius, you could have been dealing with people that would give you a little bit, but then would either withdraw it in some form or make you just feel guilty for them doing stuff for you. So some of you guys are really afraid to ask for help, or if you do ask for help, there's always this sense of, oh, don't worry, I'll pay you back. Like, you just can't just receive to receive. You have to pay it forward. You have to give it back to this person, you know? Like, there's something there where there's this sense of, like, you're trying to find your own emotional fulfillment, but you keep experiencing, which feels like lack, like you don't have the best options. I think one of your issues is really keeping somebody around, or really getting somebody to truly reciprocate back to you what you really want. Because I feel like that's kind of what this whole journey was all about, is wanting to find somebody similar to you. But anytime something happens in your family, you always tell yourself, it's okay, I'm going to move forward. But it's like that still affects your foundation of who you are. Because I feel like for some of you guys, you could have came from family and circumstances where it was a lot of pain. A lot of deciding that you had to do. This really did affect your foundation, and you have a hard time letting this go. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, when stuff would happen in your family, or things would go down, maybe you were always the one that was able to hold on to that, you know, make it seem like it didn't bother you. You always tried to be the more support network, because maybe you were dealing with people and circumstances where you felt like you had to be, like, you wouldn't tell people how you really felt about your family or about certain situations. And I think it's because you're afraid of what your relationship could be like, if that makes sense. I just get the sense that for a lot of you, you could have had families that gotten a divorce, or people that always were fighting. There was always tension in the household, and these has shaped you to being a specific way with people now. So now when you communicate with people, you try to always come off like you're more well put together, that you're more of like a responsible adult. Because maybe you feel like your parent or somebody that you were always around just never was that responsible. But that's what's blocking you here, because you feel, I'm getting the sense that you have a hard time with other people at times, because maybe when you talk to people, people can find you very charming, but it feels like you just blend in with the crowd. It's almost like you have that chameleon effect with people, where you're not showing who you truly are. It's like you wear multiple masks to multiple different people. And I felt like that was taught at a young age for you to cope with life. And I'm getting that for a lot of you guys, that has kind of shaped the way that you communicate with people. And I feel like for the month of April, a lot of you guys are going to start to notice this. You're going to really start to notice, you know what? I really am that person that maybe can just shapeshift into the crowd, and I can get along with multiple people. But who am I really? Because when I'm around my mom or my dad or certain people, right, I put on certain masks. But there's a piece of you that always feels like nobody really ever captures or really ever sees the true essence of who you are. And I'm also getting that for some of you, you don't really know who you truly are, because even when you're alone, there's always this sense of like somebody could always be watching me. So even when you're alone, sometimes, Aquarius, you still have on some type of mask to where you're not, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like some of you have a hard time really letting your guard down, because you maybe at a young age, it's like you always just knew that other shoe was going to drop. So you always anticipated something else happening, and this has been impacting your life. And I feel like whatever this is in your childhood that has been impacting you, it's starting to become more, you can't keep ignoring it for so long, you know, because the further you ignore it, the bigger the problem will get, or the more you're going to feel disconnected from self. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you're going to want to maybe go more within this month and really re-examine what it is that you truly are. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you just go around trying to appease others. You don't generally get into fights with people. I feel like you guys are really good at making people feel good after conversations with you. And I think it's only because you guys are more likely, you're just really good at telling people what they want to hear. But what is it that you really think? What is it that you really want to say? I feel like a lot of you guys might hold back your true thoughts about something because of that. We have you are the light. That just fell. So it's like, I think a lot of you guys really needing to figure out what you want in your life. We have lead your metamorphosis. You are the light again came out. Overwrite your intuition. Magic happens when you most expect it. The now. Was I saying, you need to be more in the now. Fierce serenity. And at the bottom of the deck, we have fill your cup with sacred giggles. So, a lot of you guys need to, like right now, I feel like a lot of you guys are changing and shifting the way you're going to be communicating with people in the future. I get the sense that some of you see that you have a lot to give, and some of your guys' opinions that maybe you hold back on could actually influence other people more than you realize, right? So I feel like you guys need to really see what you have to offer people. But I'm also getting with that overwrite your intuition, is I feel like a lot of you guys can get up in your head a lot and you can ignore the true simple fact, because your intuition generally is they'll give you very simple answers, and it's always answers that are in the now. It's always what you need to do. But I feel like a lot of you guys, you get in your head and then you overthink things to the point where it's like you lose sight of your intuition. So you need to get out of your head and more in your body. I'm also getting here that magic happens when you most expect it. It's like when you are looking for magic, when you're looking for good things to come, you're going to find it. It's like when you want to buy a car and you see it everywhere. That's kind of what it is. It's because you're looking for it. So the more you expect good things to come to you, the more you're going to see it. But I also feel like just being more grounded and being more in the now, more in the present moment's really going to help. I feel like with that fierce serenity, and it's interesting because we have that lion, which makes me go back to thinking about the strength card. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to find what makes you feel better, what's going to make you feel good for yourself. Because I'm getting the sense that when you're around other people, it's like you can make people walk away feeling like, oh, I really like that person. I really like Aquarius because, maybe you're just a very agreeable person, you can see that other person's point of view. You can see your point of view. So maybe you just agree because you're like, well, what's the point of telling that person that they're wrong or right? Who am I to say that they're wrong or right? And so maybe you come at conversations or topics or things like that, Aquarius, but at the same time, what is your opinion? What is it that you really believe? And don't be afraid to upset somebody else, because I feel like for some of you guys, that's kind of the mask you put on, is this very polite figure. And even though I feel like a lot of you are very polite individuals, I feel like there's a lot of you that still have that fear of really standing out or really voicing what you want to do or what it is that you want to create or what your opinion is about certain things and certain topics, instead of just being agreeable with other people. Because I feel like a lot of you guys can have a tendency of agreeing with people even if you don't agree with them, and then you kind of fall into that trap where people think that you automatically have the same opinion as they do, even though that's not the case, right? So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're needing to be able to find more of that individuality inside of yourself. And I feel like the month of April, that's where you're heading down, is being able to see more of what is who you truly are and what you really stand for as a person. Because they have that stereotype of they can kind of get along with everybody, right? They're the ones that are like the floaters. They kind of just go around to every group. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, maybe you were just really good at blending in with different groups and different people, and you can jump from one group to the next group and be able to actually fit in and blend in. But even though that's a great and an amazing talent to have, I feel like for a lot of you guys, that has left you questioning who you really are and who you really want to be, because you're so good at being what others want you to be that you're needing to see who you really are and what is it that you really want to do. Feeling tongue-tied, because I feel like a lot of you guys, you're now questioning your own self, who you really are. And that's going to lead you down a path where I feel like is going to open up more doors and more opportunities for you guys. You're going to meet even more people, because the more you have an opinion, and it's like your opinions, everybody's opinions are like a dime a dozen, right? But because you have your own personal opinion and you just don't agree with everyone else's all the time, it's going to start changing things for you. People are going to have more respect for you. People are going to see you more as a specific individual. You're going to be able to set your own limits, your own boundaries and limitations. Less people will walk all over you. Less people are going to, the ones that aren't meant to be in your life will fall away because maybe you just don't agree with everything that they are doing. So it's like you're changing so much by just really asking the simple questions and asking yourself, what is it that you really think and believe, and getting out of other people's energies, focusing and grounding in your own energy. Take time alone to sit in your energy so you even know what your energy is, because everybody's vibrating at a specific energy level. And I feel like a lot of you guys have that tendency of maybe getting out of your own energy field and focusing on other people's energy fields, which is why I feel like you guys are so good at being chameleons, so good at going in and out with people. And I feel like you guys can make friends anywhere you go because you have that ability. But at the same time, it's good to just be in your own energy and not having to feel the whole world's energy and other people all the time. That's exhausting. And I feel like for some of you, that's something that's happening, is you needing to learn to set energetic boundaries between you and another person, where you're like, this person's upset, but I don't need to be upset. I don't need to allow them being upset to affect me and to change how my mood is. So just little things like that is going to make massive differences for my Aquariuses. And I feel like for the month of April, you're going to have those opportunities to be able to take a second to step back and to breathe in conversations with people, or in certain situations where you're going to be able to see what you like, differentiate between that person's feelings and your feelings, and this person's beliefs and my beliefs. And it's going to start making it easier for you guys to really decide whether or not you want to keep certain people in your life, or, because I feel like some of you guys might have people in your life that need to leave or need to go, but they're staying there because you don't have the boundaries, or because you're so agreeable that people have a tendency of taking advantage of you or walking all over you. And once you stay more in the present moment, stay more in that now, you're going to realize who is and isn't for you. And the people that you don't really want to surround yourselves with, you're going to not be able to stand it because you're more in that moment with them, and you're going to be able to see and feel their energy, and also to be in your energy too. So notice how, and pay attention to, like, how do you feel when you're around specific people, and after they leave, do you feel energetically drained? Pay attention to those things, because I feel like that's where you're going to start making the understanding of who should and shouldn't be in your life. So I feel like for the month of April, a lot of you guys are going to be weeding things out of your life by being more grounded inside yourself and really understanding what is best for you. So that's what I have for my Aquariuses. I hope that this resonates for you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.